Madam President, as students of the University for Peace, we spent the first few weeks of our courses trying to define what peace is all about. Given your contribution to peace building in Liberia, what is your definition of peace?
Peace is an environment where the majority of people feel that they have a stake in society, that they have equal opportunity, they have access to justice, and the rule of law prevails, that differences can be handled through dialogue, compromises. More importantly, perhaps, an environment in which everybody feels that there is hope. Hope in future prosperity for all.
There is a lot of hope that goes along with being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize. I'm wondering if it carries any burden with it. Does it in any way influence your political decisions, especially in difficult situations when you have to decide whether or not to use force?
It does. Not only do you have to have humility when you've received the Nobel Prize, but it places great responsibility on you, because you represent the segment of society, both domestic and abroad, that are advocating peace, that are advocating the promotion of democracy, the promotion of tolerance. And yet, if you're a leader, there are times when you have to take hard and courageous decision that may not make you popular, and that may affect the interests of others. So you also know you're under the microscope all the time, because everybody's watching what you say, what you do, and giving their interpretation of it. And so it places great responsibility. But one has to also, in a leadership position, exercise leadership. And you just have to, every time there's an issue, when you're faced with that dilemma of the decision you should take, and at the same time continue to represent that symbol and model of peace, where do you balance it up? There's nobody that can do it for you, and there's no way you can plan for it. When the moment comes, you have to rise to the occasion.
Talking about responsibility, as a young mother of 4 children, you are faced with several big challenges. Now I wonder, what is your advice to women all over the world, to young women all over the world who feel that they have to choose either between their family or their career?
A very tough decision, one in which one would say that today's world, thank goodness, things are changing, where equal responsibility in the home is becoming acceptable, so that one is not forced to choose. Where the woman today wants to be as professional, as the man, and where learning, the possibilities for learning with the children and taking care of the children have also changed. But if one is in an environment where you have to make that decision, it's a very, very tough one. And most women would lean on the side of, I have responsibility to my children, first and foremost. And this is why today you don't have as many women leaders as there should be, given the fact that we're 50% of the population. And even though women are just as educated in most countries as men, but because of family responsibility, which they've chosen to make a priority, they have not vied for leadership. At this point, those changes are necessary because we need women leadership. And we need women to be able to have circumstances, whether it's daycare, or whether it's long hours in school and whatnot, to make sure that women can be both a professional and a good mother.
I would would like to end on a positive note on your country. Your country, Liberia, is after decades of civil conflict, is on the long and steep road to recovery. What can war-torn societies around the globe learn from your country's past mistakes and present achievements?
Fundamentally, to make sure that those who feel marginalized in the society have a chance to divide their view, their anger, to work with them, to be able to respond to that, to make sure that policies reflect equal opportunity, equity, that allocation of public resources is not directed toward an elitist group and a favored few. Poverty lays the groundwork for discontent, and discontent, if not managed properly, can end up into violence. And that was the case of our country and others. While we had natural resources and grew in orthodox terms, that growth was not translated into development. And too many people felt bypassed by the benefits and so. But again, today, change is coming. Today we have civil societies that are very vibrant, that are very vocal, and that take their watchdog role very seriously. And so they are ensuring that, that those practices of the past are corrected. They're insisting on accountability, transparency, honesty on the part of government. And so I think most countries now know the dangers of violence, the dangers of destruction that come from violent upheavals, and that is easy to destroy. You can do that in a very relatively short period of time. But to rebuild takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. And if one is not careful in a rebuilding process, in responding to needs, you may set the stage again for a reversal. I hope the Liberian example is one that countries in our region and in our continent will serve as a good example.
Madam President, on behalf of the University for Peace, I would like to thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you.